Jamie Roberts' farm is different than most operations in Alabama. Oh, you'll find the same equipment rolling through the fields, but it's what they're harvesting that's out of the ordinary.
What we do here is different because oats, which is normally not that desirable of a commodity to grow, it is our priority. A lot of our oats are used for grazing, wildlife blends, and we plant corn and beans where a lot of people will plant oats for a cover crop to plant their corn and beans behind, but we plant corn and beans for our rotation.
Jamie knew from the time he was a little boy that he wanted to farm, but the way he got started is also a little unusual.
I moved down here from Illinois when I was 13 years old. I went to school to be a GM technician, knew I always wanted to get back to the farm, and met my wife, Lindsay, and her aunt and uncle owns a seed farm, and started working for them on the weekends.
Jamie's dad moved the family from Illinois to North Alabama to manage a cattle ranch. Jamie says he loved the cows, but always felt a calling to grow row crops. Land in that part of the state is rocky and hilly, so Jamie didn't think he'd ever realize that dream until he met the woman who would become his wife.
Her uncle had a row crop farm, and it was a lot smaller scale then. It was 600 acres. He built a great foundation for us to build off of. Only thing we did then was soybeans, and he did a bunch of specialty crops. And as the years went on, we started picking up more acres and more acres to where we have been built up to 1,600 acres now.
The farm still maintains the name of Lindsay's aunt and uncle, but the Roberts are now 50-50 partners with them. In addition to expanding the land area, Jamie has just finished a renovation of the seed cleaning facility and dramatically increased storage.
When I first started working here, we had about 20,000 bushels of storage. Since we've progressed and moved on, we have built our capacity up to around 240, 260,000 bushels. We just put in a new seed plant that's supposed to double production, and to where we can get the oats cleaned and bagged in a timely manner to start shipping them out to where they can start blending their wildlife mixes and everything.
While Jamie was back in Illinois, Lindsay was here enjoying fun on the farm. She grew up right across the street. Today she works off the farm as a farm assist, but says she's excited about carrying on a family tradition while her children grow up doing the same kind of things she did as a little girl.
It means a lot to both of us for our children to be able to grow up on a farm. I believe it instills work ethics in them, and they're able to see the fruits of their labor. And they're able to learn responsibility even from a young age. They have tasks that they can do on the farm to help out. So it means a lot to us to be able to pass down basically a family farm. So it's something that my aunt and uncle started, and we were able to come in and get involved and watch it grow, and we're hoping to be able to grow it and sustain it so that they can enjoy it for years to come.
Jamie says watching his 6-year-old son and the daughter who'll be born soon grow into productive adults is a good analogy for the whole reason he started row cropping in the first place.
What I love about it more than anything is you put a tiny seed in the ground, and you watch it grow, you take care of it its whole season, and then you get to harvest it. And that's the most rewarding thing to me.
From DeKalb County, outstanding young farm family finalists Jamie and Lindsay Roberts and their son, Luke. Ben Johnson has been farming most of his life. Growing up on a large vegetable operation, he and his brother got started with a small cow herd before he was even a teenager.
I had a youth loan when I was, I think, 10. It was an opportunity for me and my brother. I think we had about 7 or 8 cows apiece growing up. So I had interest from when I was younger, and mainly that first opportunity to be able to lease a cattle farm not too far from here kind of drove us in this direction.
Ben's worked off the farm ever since he graduated from Auburn in December of 2011. First as a loan officer with the USDA Farm Service Agency, and later as a broiler service technician with Cook Foods. He says that job helped him set the direction for his farming career.
I had not worked in a poultry house or been involved in it growing up. So I was able to kind of wet my feet and learn a little bit about it. And at the same time, we were able to, we had an opportunity to buy a farm. And we both saw that it was fit after talking about it and praying about it a lot. You know, we went for it. So we knew that it was if we would put the hard work in it, you know, we were confident that we could be successful at it.
Besides the chicken houses, today the farm consists of a cow herd that's grown from the original 8 to about 150 mama cows. And Ben grows about 150 acres of corn and some wheat and soybeans. His wife Bethany is an 11th and 12th grade math teacher. She says even though it's a little unusual for a high school teacher, she tries to take ag into the classroom every chance she gets.
We're a K-12 school, so I have the opportunity to see the little ones. So my goal was this year to be trained for ag in the classroom and then to implement it through my Future Teachers of America club. I have that club at school, and they're going to go in and they're going to teach the program to the 4th graders this year.
Bethany's passion for agriculture is something she's developed just since she's known Ben. She says she didn't know what she missed by not growing up on a farm, but she's glad her children will get this experience.
I love every aspect of the farm. Our little 2-year-old little girl already absolutely loves cows. And so my goal for her, if she would love to, would be to do stuff with farming and to take that aspect on with her life, because I feel like with me and just my short time doing it, it's taught me so much work ethic. You know, we planted our first garden and this year for my kids and myself, and I've never put something in the ground and got to watch it grow and feel, you know, pretty successful just off the land.
When me and Bethany see our kids with us, what we do, it's very important to us to know that they're learning the things that we learned growing up. I don't know why I get emotional about it, but it's the things that I can look back and see that I've learned, people skills, work ethic, just the values that I learned growing up. I want to be able to pass that to them.
From Randolph County, outstanding young farm family finalists Ben and Bethany Johnson and their children, Blakely and Brooks. Ever since he was a little boy, it's always been a good bet that Luke Smelly would grow up to be a farmer.
Well, it was just a major part of my life. My grandfather was a farmer. He taught me how to work. My dad was a farmer. I worked with him, and then he took a job working at a plant, and he's taught me the business end of the farming operation the past few years.
Luke says those two farms were very different. So rather than choose one or the other, Luke started his own operation with what he liked from each of them.
They always had cows, and one was a row cropper, and then my dad became a catfish farmer, so I just took catfish and cattle, and I'm doing both.
Starting from scratch, Luke says he owes a lot of people thanks for helping him get going. A neighbor who was retiring from farming wanted to see the young farmer succeed, so he made Luke a sweet deal to rent his place. But it was Luke's family that stepped up to support him until he got on his feet.
Well, when I started, I was at zero. I had nothing except my grandfather's experience. He worked with me every day, and my father would loan me his equipment, and an old tenant house we had on the farm. They let me stay there for free, and that's how I got started. And now we're up to a couple thousand acres and run around 500 mother cows and stock around another 600-700 yearlings, and manage 60 ponds, 600 acres of water, and try to raise around 5 million pounds of catfish.
Luke's wife Lana grew up in an Army family, moving all over the country. In her world, houses were side by side, and grocery stores were open 24 hours a day. So Greensboro, Alabama is definitely not where she expected to settle down.
Growing up, I would have never imagined to meet a farmer and live on a farm and stay in Alabama. That would have never crossed my mind, and have 5 kids. But now that we're here and kind of seeing the journey that God took us on, to get here, it just makes so much sense. And I think a lot of that too is saying that your plan and God's plan may be two different things, but to trust in God's plan, then you can see like the beautiful part in it. I just couldn't imagine any other way, really.
Lana operates an architecture firm out of their house, which she designed. But she says being a mom is her most important job. She and Luke believe their diverse backgrounds should give their children the best of both the country and the city.
Daddy wasn't much on books and schooling. My wife was, so they're getting diverse and doing good in school, and they'll work.
I think it is beautiful to see the kids being raised like their dad. I mean, obviously I'm in love with Luke, and he's so well-rounded, and he's got a great head on his shoulders, and he's got his faith in God, and he loves what he does. Farming is his passion. It's not just something that he's just trying to do.
Never a typical day. The main thing is keep everything alive. Keep them all checked and try to keep the cows in the fence and the fish in the water.
From Hale County, outstanding young farm family finalist Luke Smelly, his wife Lana, and their children Levi, Violet, Everett, Daisy, and Iris.